Welcome back. You're watching Metropole Television. My name is Simbalaji Charles Kiage. This is your official sector trends. Now, as a journalist, first it was passion, seeing others do it. And secondly, it was self-realization on what I wanted to do as a person, as to fulfill the dream my creator called me to accomplish in this life. But what about you? Today, we look into how we can accomplish and invest in ourselves as journalists and other advanced career opportunities for journalists in the country. That is why journalists need to invest and believe in career change. Joining us this morning is a veteran sports journalist with an experience span of over 45 years in the newsroom, Mr. Larry Ngala, joining us from Kampala, Uganda. Mr. Larry, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fantastic. We are happy to have you around. I mean, when you say that you have a career span of over 45 years, Mr. Ngala, it will be interesting for us to hear exactly where the journey started.
Well, my journey started, many years ago while I'm school. I picked interest in writing eventually, that's what I did initially. So I went to school in the U.S. and did business administration. The journalism is a calling, and whether you do law or whatever it is, if journalism was your calling, you would still get back. So eventually, I started to jump in journalism, and I started writing news as an intern at Voice of America. Eventually, I came back home and I started writing news, but over the years, I decided now, sport is my interest, so I will stick to sports writing. And I've been doing it for a very long time. I used to cover almost sport. And eventually I settled to the sport that I love most that I play, and that's sport.
Pretty much. But I like what you said there, that journalism is a calling. I mean, within that time when you're doing a business course and the time when you decided, well, I want to get into journalism, what did you feel out of place, especially when you're doing the business course?
Obviously, it wasn't my interest, but that is the choice that I didn't enjoy it at all, and I worked for 2 years with the American Life then. After that, I decided, no, this is not what I do.
Yes. Pretty much 2 courses. And how did you finally then find yourself in a sports desk as a sports journalist?
It's because initially, as I said earlier, when I was in high school, in Mombasa, where I was born and grew up, there was an old man who used to write sport and
yes.
soccer club. But he used to narrow down into 2 clubs, and he ignored quite a number of other sports and other clubs. So I decided to fill that, that gap. But eventually, when I went to the U.S., I mean, they were limited, places where you could do journalism. I didn't manage to get into the University of North Carolina, which was the best then. I went and did, business in Clemson University of South Carolina.
Yes. I mean,
eventually,
yes. Continue, Larry.
Eventually, after working for 2 years, I decided to go to school. I started to school in New York. I did post-common journalism. And that's why my career now started picking up.
Pretty much. So for someone who's listening to you this morning, there was that time that period when you were changing your careers. How difficult was that period? Could you talk to me about the reaction from even the guys who were sponsoring you now to be in school? Was it a difficult period, Larry?
Of course, it was very difficult because now I was getting into something that fact that I didn't have the experience, so I had to try and learn, along the way.
So, would you advise any other journalist or any other person listening to you this morning that you could actually believe in changing your career and fight for it, or you gotta complete it fast before you say, well, let me change it?
Yeah, you can. You can. You always follow where your heart, want you to go, and you can change the career and improve on it, by learning more. So over the years, I didn't go beyond post diploma in journalism, but I learned a lot. I gained experience by, doing what I thought was the best.
Yes.
And but now we have a chance to advance. You can advance journalism. Okay? You don't have to do that.
So let's talk about.
If that's where you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Larry, let's talk about this particular area that you finally find yourself in, sports journalism. Well, some people will say that up to now, and in Africa especially, this is when we are trying to actually develop sports journalism. Would you say that indeed we've grown in sports journalism as a continent?
Yeah, sports journalism is actually very interesting.
Yes.
Because, you are particularly if you pick a line where you are keen interested, then you can advance. I mean, everybody can write soccer because we all played football when we were in school, But there are some sports that you really need to take time to learn about them, like golf.
Yes.
You can't write golf if you are not a golfer. You
Yes.
find it very boring. So I started learning how to play, and then I developed interest. And I tried to advance by reading a lot, from some of the best. And here I am. I mean, you have to pick something that you follow it up and master it.
Yes.
And you become a master on it. Then that way, you will now gain more experience, you gain more interest to advance.
Pretty much. So, talk to me about how special sports journalism is. Is it different from what we like to call one-on-one journalism? How special it is, Larry?
It is very different because you first of all you must understand the thing you're writing about.
Yes.
Or talking about.
Yes.
You have to understand it. You have to make sure that you understand all the nitty-gritty of that particular aspect of sport that you are covering.
Yes.
Unlike because news, I mean, anybody can do news. Anybody can do news, but sports is a special, field. So you must understand the sport to have picked and master it. Then you become a master in it. Then you will enjoy. You will enjoy, doing that sport.
Yes.
The mistake people make is that you jump into a sport which you are not very. You have never specialized in it. And you obviously along the way you will get not fine.
Another area that Larry, you will run into, and this is a question that I get most of the times. I mean, especially when we're talking about sports as well, it's just a wide area. So, what would you advise somebody? Is it possible to specialize in reporting in a particular sport, Larry, as opposed to being called, well, an overall sports journalist? Is it possible for you to go in and specialize in football, in cricket, in basketball? Is that a possibility?
Yes, it is very much possible. It's very much possible, because you see, you can't be a jack of all trades. I mean, you can't wander around, football, cricket, basketball, boxing. You will never succeed. Because,
Yes.
Eventually you will get one right and the other one wrong. But if you pick one particular sport and then you concentrate on that, then you become a master. You become a professional, on that particular line.
Pretty much.
And you will advance definitely. But if you are writing different things and so on, you will not be able to master all of them. The way you can master in one.
Yes.
That's why I chose to go.
45 years is really quite a long time in a particular field, Larry. For you, when you look at where we are right now, especially in that particular area for golf, Larry, would you say that we've changed the way in which we're reporting golf from when you started out?
I didn't get your question clearly.
Yes.
If you can repeat.
Let me come up again on that question, Larry. I mean,
Yeah.
from when you started reporting in golf up to where we are right now, would you be able to point out how reporting in that particular sport has changed over time?
Oh, it has.
Yes.
You know, when I started, apart from that, you know, the game also, you advance as the game also advanced. When I started, I mean, probably, you know, we had about 800 golfers in the whole country. You know, now we have over thousands of golfers. And the sport has also advanced.
Yes.
So that way, it forces you also to advance in your way of reporting, where you are handling. You know, when you are writing an amateur golf, it's different from covering professional golf.
Yes.
Because professional golf is so advanced. So you must try and improve your language as you go on and as you cover the event. I mean, you know, if you go and cover the Masters, for instance, the US, I mean, you know, even when you interview a player, the way he's telling you is totally different from interviewing an amateur golfer. You know.
Yes.
So you have to also prepare with the sport as it advances. You must also advance.
In a particular area, Larry, maybe you find this question very interesting as well. Now, I mean, reporting for golf, I mean, let me just ask it like this. Golf is normally seen as a sport for the intellectuals. So the sports journalist or the golf journalist has to play a particular role in making that report interesting. Larry, have you been able to do that over the years? Because I normally like to think that the responsibility of making golf interesting is particularly left to the journalist who's reporting on that particular story.
You see, first of all, journalism, you have those three cores that informing, educating, and
Yes.
entertaining. So
Yes.
you must be very entertaining. They must, you know, a golfer must be able to read and feel that, okay, this man knows exactly what he's doing. Or,
Yes.
you know. So, you know, you are entertaining at the same time as you are informing and educating.
Yes.
So you must always be at par with the advancement of that.
Yes.
It's very important.
Have you,
You know, I read a lot of magazines. I listen to some of the top broadcasters.
Yes.
Golf, and I took a lot of things from them. You know, that's along the years I've been advancing. You know, because you have to, you can't just get stuck in one particular stage. You have to keep on advancing. Just like the game itself, you start from high handicap, you come to zero, you know, you become professional. So you have to keep on keep the pace with the game as they advance.
yes. Larry, have you got people in your entire career who are saying, well, we still don't understand golf for what it's supposed to be? And have you reacted to those questions, Larry, over time?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always.
Yes.
Because you see, you know, like when I started, like now, sometimes I would do a story and someone will tell me, hey, my friend, this is not how you write, you know, golf and so on. No, but as I kept on playing myself and getting to know the game well and so on, you know, I was able to phrase my, you know, stories, you know, the way that a golfer would read, and I feel like, okay, this guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes. Pretty much. Larry, as we come close to the end of our conversation this morning, just two more questions. Development of this particular sport, golf, in the continent. Can you tell me some of the milestones that you've seen over the years in this particular sport?
Well, I've seen a lot of advancement. I've seen
Yes.
a lot of, you know, growth. The game has grown, you know, not only in Kenya, but in Africa and the world. You know, we've had, you know, we have seen players coming up who have stimulated more interest in the game, particularly like someone like Tiger Woods. I mean, the guy changed, you know, the whole aspect of golf. I mean, he made it more interesting by the way he was playing. I mean, you know, he encouraged very many, young people who are because of, he mastered the game. And, it's a lot of, advancement in the game in general, even in
Yes.
Kenya here.
Pretty much. Larry, therefore, finally, 45 years, that's a long career span. What is next for you on the table, Larry?
Well, now besides writing, now I'm trying to produce young golfers. I'm the president of the Kenya Golf Foundation. Okay? So I'm also very busy producing young players because I believe
Yes.
that this game for you to advance, you need to start at a very young age. Along the way as I started writing, many people used to start golf when they are advanced in age, and we can go very far on that. So now I have that responsibility for producing young golfers. I have about 2,500 juniors spread across the country. And some of them are now doing very well. Some of them are winning in the national team, and some are professional. So I feel that if I stop writing today, that's where I will be concentrated.
Pretty much.
Passing my knowledge to young people, let them play the game with the full knowledge that this is a game, like any game, and advance and put professional level and even higher. Just like journalism, I never thought I would probably reach this level, become being recognized and put in the Hall of Fame. I didn't imagine that I would reach that level, but because of my, interest and keep on, improving myself, there I am, reach that level.
Pretty much. Larry, thank you very much for taking your time this morning to speak to us here at Metropole Television.
Much again.
Pretty much. All right, we take a short break. Once we come back, economic review.